let's look at the elimination method. The first one, equations, the first problem that I have is 3x plus 2y equal 4, 3x minus 2y equal negative 4. So I have two unknown variables, just like we look at with substitution method. This time, instead of using the substitution, we're going to try to eliminate one variable so that we only have one variable to work with. So to do that, what we're going to do, we're going to add the two equation. So for the first one, if I look at this, is there, when adding two equation, is there any variable that I can eliminate? Yes. If I look at the first one, I can see that when I add 2y plus negative 2y, they will cancel out, and that's going to give me a 0. So 3x plus x give me 6x plus 0. It's equal to 4 minus 4. It's also 0. So I'm left with 6x is equal to 0. Then to solve for x, we're going to divide both sides by 6. And x is equal to 0 divided by anything is 0. Then once I know one of my variable, I'm gonna use this and use the substitution method to plug it back into my equation. And I'm gonna use the first equation, 3x plus 2y equal to 4. And in place of x, this time we're gonna plug in 0. So 3 times 0, what we just found, plus 2y equal 4. 3 times 0 is 0, plus, so I'm left with 2y is equal to 4. Then to find y, we're going to need to divide both sides by 2, and my y is equal to 2. Therefore, my solution for this problem is my x is 0, comma, my y is 2. So 0, comma 2 is my answer for that. Now let's look at the second example. This time I have negative 10x plus 3y equal 1, negative 5x minus 6y equal 23. If I add these two, is there any variable that I can cancel out? No. I don't have my coefficients are not the same for both my x and my y. So I'm going to have to, we will need to do, we're going to have to multiply one of my number by a number, one of my equation by a number, so that we can cancel out one of these. So I can either, what we can do, we can either multiply the first one by 2 so that I can get a 6y for my second equation. I can get a 6y so that I can cancel that out with the second equation. Or you could have also multiply the bottom equation by 2 to cancel out the x. But for this one, I'm going to multiply these by 2. So let me rewrite that. I'm going to multiply that by 2. So when I do that, 2 times negative 10x give me negative 20x. Then 3 times 3y times 2 gives me plus 6y, which is equal to 2 times 1 is 2. Now, when I look at my equation, I can see that my coefficients for my y are the same. Give me a second. I can see that my coefficients for my y are the same, and when I add them, they will cancel out. So 6y and this 6y cancel out. I have negative 5x minus 20x is negative 25x, which is equal to 25. You can see here that we no longer use the first equation because this equation has become this. So we no longer use that. So we're using this, pretty much this is now my first equation and this is now my second equation. Alright, so now that I have negative 25x is equal to 25, to solve for x, we're going to need to divide both sides by negative 25. Therefore, my x is equal to negative 1. Now that I know what my value is for x, we're going to plug that back into one of my equation. I'm going to use the first one now, which is negative 5x minus 6y equal 23. Then we're going to plug in negative 5 times x is negative 1 minus 6y equal 23, so that I only have one unknown variable. Again, we're going to multiply this to negative 5 times negative 1 is 5 minus 6y equal 23. To solve for my variable y, we have to move our numbers together by subtracting 5 to both sides. So I have negative 6y is equal to 18. Then lastly, we're going to divide both sides by negative 6. Therefore, my y is equal to negative 3. So my x is equal to negative 1. My y is equal to negative 4. Therefore, my solution for this is negative 1, comma, negative 3. So that is the elimination method.